Hello there. I'm Keel Cerrone Beatmaker. And on this episode of the Monday Mindset, we're going to discuss love requires one to be strong. Part 3. If he depends upon the real world outside of himself for reinforcement, he will be disillusioned and soon discovers that society and men are far less than perfect. Dr. Leo. Man must love and reinforce his individuality within his personhood. He must look towards society as a lesson learned in the art of living. He must stay true to himself. In doing so, he maintains himself within the essential reality. He sees the world for what it is, a lesson, a challenge to test his resolve as a fully functioning person. Without such challenges, he would cease to exist, and all that would be left is the shell of a human, encased and consumed within a hive mentality, lost in the Sargasso Sea of indoctrination, manipulation, abuse, and self sabotage. He sees pain, pleasure, poison, heresy, humility, respect, cruelty, malice, motivation, infection, inspiration, the everlasting punishments and pleasures that can be found frothing from the mouth of society. The essential realist navigates such frothy temptations with clear intent of one's actualization. They maintain the balance by reinforcing their individuality, by nurturing their physical health with exercise, nutritional substance, meditation, and yoga. They nurture their mind with freedom of thought, self education through books, courses, and clubs, healing through religious and spiritual practices, acknowledging that only those who maintain a diverse mindset and physical strength are capable of not being fooled by the false reality that domesticates you into allowing society or man to dictate how you live, who you be, and where you go. You deny their transhumanistic global security apparatus that wishes to strip you of your individuality, your manhood, your womanhood, being injected into the very veins of our societal practices, cultural upbringings, arts, and creeds. They wish to keep you docile and domesticated. The essential realist denies such rhetoric through the battle cry of the four agreements, the five rings of Musashi, the war of art, the warrior of light. Which path say you wish to lead? The essential realist or domestication of the false reality? As Chicano Batman once said, freedom is free. The choice always has and will be yours. For this, society was created by less than perfect men. To cope with what he finds and still live in love, he must have strength. He'll only survive if his strength lies within himself. We are our strongest weapon, our greatest hero, and our greatest adversary. Society tries to take that away from you. Society in this current age wants to strip you of who you are. Why? Why do they not want you to be the best version of yourself? Why do they not want you to see that you are your greatest hero and you are your greatest adversary? I like to say that the only person who will ever truly look out for you, who will ever truly have your back, who will always support you, regardless of the support system you have or have not, it will always be you. You. No one else. No one else will truly look out for you the way you look out for yourself. And that is only capable if you love yourself. That is only capable if you acknowledge oneself. And we have to navigate such societal reconstruction as they would like to have it be. But it is truly a collapse, constructed, formulated, and executed. A little poorly. But what can we say during this day and age? As we are, well, as many are being reprogrammed to relinquish their freedom of their individuality and the freedom of their thought. And in many ways, this society was constructed to withhold us from our true potential. And so now we live in a time where, as the veil continues to become lifted and the truth is unmasked, they are more aggressive in their tactics of stripping us from our individuality and to continue to domesticate us into the hive mentality. The hive mentality that seems to be killing the very people who advocate and promote it. What wicked webs they weave. But I'm here to say that those of us who are essential realists, who practice the art of living, we lead and live by example. And many are starting to see the path. Many are starting to be motivated themselves. I was speaking to my cousin today, and he's drinking, a gallon of water every day, carrying it around at work. It's to the point now where everyone at his job, his coworkers, are seeing this and are motivated to change their lifestyle. And you see, this is what is beautiful about positive inspiration in society. One man is changing the very course of the way his coworkers think and feel about their own health, all by drinking water every single day and maintaining the consistency. Consistency is key in the art of living. And the society that we are currently embattled in wants to dismantle such consistency. For to advocate for drinking for water is dangerous. I mean, look what happened to what was it? Messi. He was being interviewed after a game and there was a Coca-Cola bottle in front of him and he moves it out of the way, out of the camera, takes a bottle of water and goes, agua, and slams that down in front of him. And in that very moment, Coca-Cola stocks went down tumbling. And then the very next day, they started selling their Coca-Cola with a bottle of water taped right along. To show you the dangers of advocating for a positive lifestyle can do to the military corporal industrial complex. They wouldn't want that. You see it now everywhere you go. Even now, society is convincing people who are obese to take an injection, a supplement injection that's used for people with diabetes as a scapegoat in their progress to maintain a quote unquote healthy lifestyle without doing any of the work. And a story of such a positive influencer who went on such an injection, got off of it, and began binge eating even more so than she did prior to the injections. And this is the danger of our new societal collapse ideology. They wish you to sacrifice your mind and body and forsake accountability and progress and positive affirmations in the hopes of a short, quick high, a fix. Nothing more, nothing less. This is a problem with these false reality drugs. The moment the essential reality hits you, they deny it and sink deeper and deeper into that false reality. Because accountability and acknowledgement, that's too hard of a pill for them to swallow. You see it every single day. Men, women, it doesn't matter. But the issue is that these people are, weak, weak minded. They have no self discipline, they have no self determination, no willingness to succeed the true way. As I always say, the destination determines the journey. And the journey this young woman has found herself on is to sink deeper and deeper into her appetite. Some people choose a quick destination only to find themselves in a journey of circulation, an endless waltz of a loop. And they have no one to blame but themselves. But that would mean acknowledgement of oneself. And there is no such thing in the hive mentality. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. That is why an individual like myself, an essential realist, an advocate of the essential reality, who practices the art of living, I do not advocate for giving oneself up for a quick fix. We need to love ourselves first. That is how we strengthen our ability to accomplish anything. Like I say, the small term victories pave way for the long term victories. And in order to do that, you have to love yourself. Even when it's tough, even when the chips are down. And hey, listen, a couple days ago I was feeling really down. I was feeling a little, upset, frustrated, and you know, knowing that the knowing the destination that I have for myself, the journey is going to take its time, and it's going to be rough, but everything that goes along, I have to acknowledge how grateful and blessed I am. And it's, more of this frustration with my lack of discipline in myself in certain areas that I'm trying to improve on. Here I am right now recording this at quarter to 12. Should have done this way earlier. But that's regardless of the point. But what I am bringing up is how, even for me, I guess you could say for all of us, the societal pressures that we all put on ourselves. And even here, I'm all by myself. There's no one else. Like I always like to say, I have nobody to impress but myself. And I'm struggling even in that regard right now to impress myself. But, this is what I mean by, if you can hear in my voice, you can hear the love and the appreciation, even if there is a little hurt and upsetness. Well, I wouldn't say upsetness, but irritation and frustration with myself. I am happy though, because the fact remains, at least I'm following through. Even though I should have done this earlier, at least I'm following through, and that's what matters most. And I'm acknowledging that. And yeah, I could really use a good, smack on the head, and someone to tell me, hey, get your poopy together. This is for YouTube. When I'm on YouTube, I gotta, be respectful to the YouTube guidelines. But, everywhere else, you get the gist. But, all I'm saying is that in order to even accomplish the short term victories, you have to love and appreciate yourself. And what I mean by that is appreciate that you're human, acknowledge that you're human. Yeah, you're going to make mistakes. You're not going to be perfect. Nobody's perfect. And as we are understanding, this society was not created by perfect people. This world was not created by perfect people. It's quite ironic how godlike the Anunnaki were, but in the end, they were no different than the very beings they created. But and this is what I mean by having to, you know, cough. Mm. And this is what I mean by, having to love yourself, because regardless of your religious, spiritual beliefs, um, we have to love ourselves despite that. I don't, you can be a hardcore agnostic. You could be a hardcore Christian, and you can say you love, you can say you don't believe in anything, but at least, but by all accounts, believe in yourself and love yourself. And for my atheists out there, and for my agnostics out there, if you believe and love yourself and appreciate yourself, you are worshiping a god. And even for my my God fearing folks out there, you can say that you love God and you fear God, but keep in mind that He is in you as well. And you must love and fear yourself just as much as you love and fear God. Just as much as you are your greatest hero and your greatest adversary. To think that heaven and hell are not two sides of a coin, are not one and the same, is foolhardy. But it's all a matter of perception and how you wish to perceive this world is all dependent upon how you perceive yourself. And many seem to forget that or are completely unaware. But that is the joy and the beauty of embracing the art of living. For such revelations are made to bear witness to the soul. I will read to you a Ronin thought of mine, which coincides with such conversations we are having. And I quote, "When we embrace the true self, we embrace our potential, a potential that can exceed far beyond our fears and shine light on the magnificent aspects of our potential. Peace and joy is formulated by embracing self actualization. This allows a fully functioning person to actualize all their potentiality that is found within the art of living. Individuals who refuse their call to adventure, they remain dormant, unfulfilled, unrealized, never actualized, remaining ignorant of the true self, denying the soul of revelations." The Ronin Beatmaker. And that is where we find ourselves now in this current climate. You must embrace your potentiality, and in doing so, embrace all the possibilities that can be found within yourself, within the world that you must traverse, upon the destination that decides your journey. That is the beauty of being human, to experience such life in all its various forms of totality. How beautiful is it to say that we are one of the few creatures on such a realm to enjoy such a lifestyle. But we seem to allow the hive mentality to deny us, to strip away, to determine our own potentiality. Damn the torpedoes in full steam ahead. There is no such rhetoric that will hold us to such inhumane lifestyle and ideology. But in order to survive such a realm, you must love yourself. This is the theme of this series, this mini series, is to love yourself, to love yourself. And you must be strong in the love you have for yourself. For without that strength, you will fall victim. You will give in. You will embrace the false reality. You will embrace the domestication of the hive mentality. I have seen it in real time. It's fascinating to watch, to be honest. We live in an era of time that it is quite fascinating to watch, especially if you are an individual who lives in the art of living, an essential realist. At times, you can't help but laugh and chuckle. And then at other moments, you feel sad and embarrassed. But you still maintain the strength in yourself. And you're not caught up in the bouginess of the ego that is so apparent in social media. You say your piece and you move along. Because you love yourself. And you don't seek validation in others or in other technologies. That is the dangers of the world they wish to create. They want you to seek your love in a technocratic state rather than in a holistic state of mind. And why is that? Why is it that the soul is such a dangerous, dangerous individual to them? Why are they so hell bent on convincing us to relinquish our souls in the guise of security and protection? I've given up in shouting on the rooftops. At this point, you might as well just stick to your own path. Find like minded individuals and leave the cattle to wander into the slaughterhouse. Because that seems to be what they wish for. And I say, have at it. Because I love and believe in myself foremost. And I will not allow anyone else to dictate that which is so, that which is I. For I put feelings aside. I know who I am. He must not put this love upon the world, and if it is rejected, blame the world for its insensitivity. Dr. Leo. Wise words. And this is what I was saying earlier: accountability. You cannot and should not expect your love to be found upon in this world. This world, as beautiful as it may be, it has no love for you. My words may sound a bit callous, and you may seem to think I'm contradicting myself. But the essential realist understands that in order to truly appreciate and love this world, you must truly appreciate and love yourself beforemost. How else are you able to navigate the turbulent waters that are seen, the heretical storms they cast upon us? Why is it that you see people who seek their validation in others, who seek it in social media, are miserable, alone, vindictive, caught up in ideologies that make them hate themselves and the opposite sex, or completely destroy and invert the gender ideology of the biological man and woman to satisfy the insecurities of not being able to love and appreciate themselves? If you think some of these communities, if you think they truly love themselves, you're foolish. These people hate themselves and have created this false reality and identity as a coping mechanism for the inability to hold themselves accountable and to love themselves for who they are. And so they lash out at the world for not acknowledging their pronouns or their transhumanistic identity or their feministic ideology. This is a cruel world, and we do not have to humor your rhetoric, nor do we have to live or abide by your rules. So if you seek out this world to validate your ideological turn-ons, I suggest you stick to the basement and keep that shit in-house. Because it ain't gonna happen at my doorstep. But see, this is the problem. This is the very problem. We live in a society now and in a generation that expects the world to love them, expects the world to provide them with all the glitter and gold. Unironically. And then it is tossed and spat and covered in mud and yuck. And they complain and demand us to clean it for them and place it on a silver platter. They don't see that they are their own worst enemy. But you see, that is the beauty of the hive mentality. It is the enemy within the enemy. It's a genius thing what they have done to erode people's ability to love themselves and seek it out in this military corporate pharmaceutical industrial complex. It's marvelous. It's beautiful. Isn't it? You have to appreciate the goal and the capability of such to turn people into pardon my English, a bunch of whiny little bitches. I'm sorry. The Ronin, sometimes the Ronin just has to say it. Mind you, I do not wish to curse on the Monday mindset, but damn it, sometimes it needs to be said. And that is why I don't seek validation in this world, like I said earlier. The only person I'm trying to impress is myself. The only person I'm trying to truly love and appreciate is myself. No matter the support system I have around me, the only person in the end I have is myself. And that's the only person who I look upon for validation, who I look upon for guidance, who I look upon to hold me accountable. For when my adversary arises, it's in those moments where he is calling out the hero in me. And it's in those moments for me to determine, will I allow myself to be subjugated by my adversary? Or will I rise to the occasion and defeat my adversary? As I like to say, life is a continuing education unit, and this battle is never, ever ongoing. But that is the thing about our journey as humans, or zeros and ones. Each and every day, the line gets blurred. Are we the ghost in the machine? Or are we the machine itself? Infinite regressions. But I digress. We must embrace ourselves. We must embrace our potentiality. We must love ourselves. We must love the fact that we get to experience being human. We must be grateful and appreciative of the ability to have freedom of thought. And I advocate and I believe in that. And I prescribe to the notion that we are all capable of being the best versions of ourselves by being better than yesterday. If he finds no love, he can blame only the fact that he has no love. He must have love securely in himself. He must dedicate himself to love, be resolute in his love, and unwavering in his love. Dr. Leo. To find love in this world, you must first love yourself. We attract the type of love we exude, and exude the type of love we attract. Love is as fundamental as the air we breathe. We do not care for the love that we inhale and exhale within our individuality. We will choke upon the very air we breathe. Toxic love. Microscopic tears upon the filaments of your lungs as you inhale the false reality. Look around you to those who refuse to love themselves. Look at the toxic love they pour upon and ingest within themselves to seek validation in an identity that was created within the false reality. They forego their individuality for love that domesticates, abuses, and dictates their very being, all while tearing up their lungs until all that is left is a repulsive cough of self-sabotage and vindictiveness that splatters upon the world and the essential realist, who must wash away such fermented rotten phlegm from their mind, body, and skin. Look at those of the repulsive cough as they struggle to breathe in life, gasping upon the false reality, disgusted by the essential realist, jealous of those who love themselves truthfully and wholeheartedly, who refuses domestication in favor of freedom, which has always been free. But as Paul Atreides has once said, fear is the mind killer. And many in this world are free to love themselves. For to love yourself, you must master the art of walking alone. You must embrace the art of living. You must seek the teachings of fully functioning personhood. Stand taller than the shadows that dare strip you of your love. Dedicate your soul to the light, for manifestation is in synchronicity with time, as long as you maintain love in oneself. The art of living will guide you into the next phase of your journey. The journeying of the living ends the moment you forsaken love of oneself. Death is permanent. Love is everlasting. Do not deny the journey of the river Styx by rejecting the art of living. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Monday Mindset. To learn more about myself and how you can support the Monday Mindset, head over to my Patreon page at Ronin Art and Music. That's Ronin Art and Music. If you're interested in reaching out, follow me on social media. On Twitter, Ronin Art and Music, or at me at Kios Ronin, KioosRonin. On Instagram, follow me at RoninArt_music. And if you prefer to email, hit me up at themondaymindset009@gmail.com. That's themondaymindset009@gmail.com. And that is all lowercase. If you're listening to this on your preferred streaming service, please make sure to subscribe. If you're listening on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, leave a comment and a review, and slap that notification bell. On Apple Podcasts, please make sure to subscribe, rate the podcast, and leave a review. as this will help me and the podcast grow. Stay positive, stay focused, stay true, and much love.